Hello, welcome back everyone to Grit, Guts, and Gab, where we talk about resilience, perseverance, and determination, and pretty much anything else that comes to mind. I'm Tamika.
And I'm Jenny. So today, I thought we could kind of expand a little about our anxiety talk and anxiety, but make it petty.
Okay, so tell me more. What does your anxiety look like?
My anxiety is like a really bad coworker or even yet a micromanager boss.
Mm-mm.
hmm Somebody who's like, did you take out the trash? Did you do this? Did you do that? Oh, wait, that's not quite right. Oh, yep, this and that. And yeah,
So
that's,
they're just looking over your shoulder, just pointing out
yeah,
every little flaw
yeah.
right there. Okay.
hmm hmm
Well, I think mine is more like an uninvited house guest. I always had like a 3-day rule. I feel like when you go visit family,
Yeah.
after that third day, things start getting crazy. But unfortunately, my anxiety is definitely not invited at all. It just sits in my head, rearranging the furniture in my mind. So moving all my worst case scenarios to the middle of the room and then
Oh,
shoving all of the logic back in some dark corners that I can't find it. It eats all of my attention straight from the fridge, even the stuff that I was saving for later. But
mhm.
somehow it never seems to be satisfied. Every little noise becomes a crisis. And I don't want to hear it, but it doesn't let me get away. It's like it won't
And it
leave.
won't leave.
It won't leave. Just go home. I don't want you here. And
Yeah.
it's always here, just irritating. It's frustrating. And just going from room to room doing the same thing for it feels like my entire life. Okay, maybe not my entire life, but definitely more than I would prefer if I had a chance to
Yeah.
choose.
Mine just likes to remind me of everything that I haven't done right.
Yes. So when I think about what anxiety like sounds like, it's like, what happens if something bad happens? Well, what happens if nothing happens because nobody even cares? Like
Yeah.
it's the worst.
Yeah.
You forget one little detail like you were talking about, and then your whole world, like, I'm gonna get fired. It's gonna happen. We're gonna be homeless because now I don't have a job, and how I'm gonna afford the mortgage. It's like boom, 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 boom. It's like domino effect.
Definitely. One time, a manager scheduled a meeting with me on Friday at 3 o'clock. Do you
Mm.
know how much anxiety I had all day? It was like, I'm going to get fired. I'm going to lose my job. What's going to happen? How am I going to pay my mortgage? How am I going to pay for my kids'
See?
activities? Like, that
Yeah.
was all day. Everything that I had done wrong ever at my work for like all the years was like piling up in my head of
You're
like the
like, I knew
checklist.
I shouldn't have printed out those invitations on the printer. They're gonna come get me. It's gonna be the
Pretty
end.
much. That one time I was 5 minutes late, like,
So what happened? So you built this whole thing up, your whole day. Now you're anticipating this 3 o'clock end of the day meeting when everyone else has left early for the weekend or something, and it's just the two of you. So what happened? Was there anxiety real? Like, was it supported?
no. It was, how are you doing? How is your week? How are your kids?
Mm,
Uh,
wow.
fine.
You're like, we couldn't have talked about this morning at like 10 o'clock. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Friday at
Okay.
3 o'clock, really? Like, that put my anxiety in overdrive.
So what
Mhm.
did you learn from that experience? So if you think about how that kind of shook up your entire day, I don't know if you were able to focus or do anything because you're like
No.
replaying in your head all the things that could possibly happen.
And everything negative that I feel like I've done ever, uh, it was a relief. So, like, afterwards, I was like totally drained and exhausted because, like, I spent so
Mhm.
much time running in my head of everything. So, I was
Yeah.
pretty tired afterwards. And then I learned maybe I need to trust myself more than what I give myself credit for.
That's
I wasn't going to
beautiful.
get fired.
But it's amazing how somehow anxiety can convince you that it's real, like it's the truth. Like this is a gospel according to anxiety. Like
Yeah.
you are the worst person ever, the worst worker, the worst mother, the worst person, the worst human in existence.
Yeah.
And
The
the
world is
you,
going to burn.
yeah, because you failed to log into your computer on time, so now everything's gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
And if things can fall apart that quickly, then maybe it wasn't really put that together in the first place, if you think about it. But we don't really think about that. It's all we think about is how, I guess, the role that we play. And I don't know. Is it because I care about myself too much? Do we value ourselves so much that we're like, the world's gonna fall apart because I didn't keep it together. Like, what does that say about us? Like, as as people, if we're like, I am the glue, but somehow it just convinces you that it's, I don't know. It
Yeah.
just feels so real to me. It's like a nightmare that's like daytime. It's a daymare. There's such a
Yeah.
thing.
Micromanager anxiety, it does kind of feel like that because, it has the checklist of everything. Did you do this? Did you not do this?
Mhm.
You know, and so it's easy to keep a tally of all the negative of
And then
everything
that
that
house
you
guest, I could kick him out, and then all of a sudden, it's like a window is open or something, and I come slinking back in here, like, oh man, get back
your
in here.
uninvited guest just
And
comes
I'm like, I
storming
just
in.
already, I already locked the door. Like, say seven. Like, where you keep coming from? What is going on?
They find the window open in the back. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So that's what happens. As soon as I feel like I can relax a little bit, and sometimes even relaxing and things feeling normal can feel like something's wrong. Like if something feels too right, especially when you've been in this heightened state of anxiety, it's like you're waiting for the other ball, like what is the ball to drop or something? Like you're waiting for something to go, oh, the shoe to drop. Like, you're waiting for something to go wrong. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if you ever had that feeling.
All the time. I'm kind of type A. I have a lot of anxiety. You know, it keeps me going.
Yeah.
My
Okay.
coping
You're like,
skills.
it's the fuel I need.
My micromanager is cracking the whip.
So if do you have moments when you don't feel as anxious? Like let's picture you on the most relaxed vacation possible. Do
Yeah.
you still feel like anxiety is still there?
No, that's the one time where I can disconnect, which is why I love traveling so
Okay.
much and I love
Okay.
the beach because I feel like that is my one place where I can truly relax. I can breathe. I feel like, I don't have my checklist because I don't have a checklist on vacation
Okay.
and I can enjoy. So I do really unplug. I've learned to unplug on vacations.
Okay. So basically, you just need to be constantly vacation Jenny, and you're good. Like I like vacation Tamika, and you're right. It does feel a little bit different as far as the the go go go, like having to do everything right. Like a lot of times, I like just not having an agenda and seeing what we walk into, what surprises come around the corner. That's okay to have some events that you have planned, but for the most part, I like just seeing, like talking to the people and finding out random things that I need to do. I remember one time in Boston, sitting next to this guy. He took a napkin out and just started writing down all these things I needed to go do. Like he was very specific. Like you need to go to Quincy Market. You're gonna have to get the chowder. Don't go to the first place. You need to go about midway through, then get the chowder. And so it was like I wouldn't have known these details if I had already had my agenda. And I'm like, you know what? Let me try. And so I did almost all the things on his little napkin list of a random stranger of how you should experience Boston in the days that I had remaining. But it was good. It was good times. And I'm like, because I just let go and not feel like I have to do things a certain way.
Yeah, I know. It's really nice. I need more vacation, Jenny. But it's hard, with the pressures of work and being a mom and running a household and everything. It's hard.
You know what made me think about years ago? I wanted to move to Colorado, not because I knew anything about Colorado, because I'd never even been, but everyone I had met from there always talked about how much they love Colorado. Like anybody I had met, it was like, it's so wonderful. You can be outside in the fresh air and year round. You got the skiing and the hiking and the world. The life is so great because you are off the grid when you're out camping somewhere where you have no cell service. So it's
Yeah.
like you don't have a choice but to be kind of unplugged from the world. And so I just started falling in love with the idea of moving to Colorado. And I realized it was not about Colorado, it was about how they felt about Colorado.
Right.
So at the time, I was in Baltimore when they had a murder every day or more. So I decided to make myself a Baltorado, is what I called it. So in my backyard, I would imagine that the cars going by was the ocean, the shh, shh, like this. As long as nobody was honking the horns, I could get away with it. So all you just hearing is a fad because I lived on like a 4 lane street, and so it was like, and it was like yeah, the ocean. So I would listen to my little music, have the sunlight there, and I would just pretend that I was in Baltimore. And I do think that sometimes that's part of it is just how we feel about a situation can definitely alter the level of anxiety we bring into it from the jump. Like before we even start college, you're like already anxious. I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna change major 17 times. Like we're already worst case scenario in it without even like this is just the first day of college. Just show up and yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes to get a little vacation, I
Mhm.
will like turn up the heat in the winter or whatever, make sure I'm really warm. I put on shorts and I'll eat Dairy Queen or have like
Girl, I
a
like it.
virgin colada.
I like it. You
Trying
sitting there,
to
you're
make
like, I am free. It's 20 degrees below outside, but it's 90 in the house with my Dairy Queen. I like that. That sounds fun.
sometimes, you just need a break. And so, how can you get a break? How can you take a break from all of my anxiety? So, I
Mhm.
do that every once in a while.
So there's a thin line I feel like between anxiety and intuition. You know, they say women's intuition is a real thing. So how do you distinguish between what's anxiety and what's intuition?
Well, if you replay it a lot, so like I'm reading an email, if
Mhm.
you read it like 10 times, that's probably anxiety.
Okay,
Picking
gotcha.
apart every word, or maybe you got a text message from somebody and you're like, does that sound like, is there a tone in there or not? I don't know.
Gotcha.
And then you reread it, read it. That's probably anxiety.
Yeah, I guess in that scenario, I guess if intuition would be more like, hey, I read this, I'm not sure. So let me just go back and ask maybe some clarifying questions to not assume what's going on and reading, like creating our own story, like actually clarify. Because most of the time, I feel like we put our own voice, like all the emails always sound mean. Like they always sound mean and evil and like, I hate you. And it could be like, good morning, I guess, to you. Like, it's like, they didn't say that. They just said good morning. Is it good? Is it a good morning? It's like, we hear something totally different and I really do think that a lot can be lost in emails, especially if you don't have a relationship with a person,
Oh,
that you
yeah.
don't know what you assume that like everything's coming to clarify, to tell you again, like everything just sounds like they're writing in all caps and it's not in all caps, but in our head this is what we see. But I think just intuition would be like, I got a strange feeling, let me just clarify instead of assuming. Now they could come back and be like, "Yes, I hate your guts. You suck." But at least you know now. You don't have to make up any stories in your
Right.
head.
I don't know. It's easy to put our thoughts and feelings into something when maybe it's
Mhm.
not there. You're right. Asking for a good clarifying question. Or maybe
Yeah,
not assuming the worst.
yeah, it's true. Not assuming the worst. When I think about it, it's like I just need to cancel plans. Like, you know how you have that? I don't want to have any social sort of interactions. Like, I'm not going anywhere. I just feel like everything's gonna go wrong if I go out of my
Yeah.
safety and security of my space. Versus like maybe an intuition situation when maybe there is somebody in that circle that is known for whatever it is, and you're like, I don't need to be around that person. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna protect my spirit and not go. So that's different than to just like I'm never leaving the house ever.
Right. I don't know. I would say, like, what is the worst? We talked about this. Like, what is the worst case scenario if you do go out? And maybe it is that one person that you kind of get that gut feeling
Creepy
about.
fellow, yeah, yep, yep. Like I don't
Yeah.
want to be around them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people just give off bad vibes, and I don't know. Like I used to know somebody who, when they walked in a room, it felt like a dark cloud was like coming with them, and I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't know if there's a word for that. I don't know if that's anxiety or whatever, but I just know I used to get anxiety knowing that person was gonna come around because it's just like it's like immediately like the sun went away, like a big dark cloud covered everything, and all joy in the world just got sapped out of it. Like it's just that's how I felt, and so in those situations I choose not to be around them, but I didn't really
That's
have a
your
good.
intuition telling
Oh,
you.
that's more intuition. Okay, because I'm like, I feel like I didn't really have a choice in it, but it was just not great. I didn't love
That's
it.
your intuition.
Okay.
So we do need to trust our gut. If it's
Hmm.
like, I get a bad vibe for the situation, for people, and sometimes we try to talk ourselves out of it, but I feel like we do really need to trust our gut.
Mm. Yes, but just knowing the difference between your gut and rereading those emails 10 times is not exactly the same thing. So I think that and I don't know that I don't think anxiety tries to dress itself up as anything else. I think it comes out and just like I'm gonna ruin your life, and I'm doing it to the best of my ability. I'm really trying to help you because everything's gonna go bad. If the whole world's gonna fall apart, and so I'm here. And if I didn't hear, then I don't know what you would do. And it's like it's just going on and on and on. I think that that's the problem, that it doesn't slow down or be quiet or anything. It doesn't take a break. It's like, do you ever get tired? He just never gets tired.
Your anxiety likes to break in a lot
Yes.
through the
Like,
door.
jeez. The windows, anything at this point. It's like coming through the attic. Like, how are you sneaking through the vents? What is happening? It's a ghost of my anxiety. My anxiety. Like, ooh.
Mine's
Yeah.
just hovering over me with the checklist. Did you
Okay,
get
so you
this
just
done?
expired, expired. Listen, just going through your refrigerator. Like,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
get something new in here, lady.
I mean, I try to normalize it some, right? Like, it's okay that I'm successful and I do have some anxiety. So I feel like, I do try to be okay with my micromanager so that way it doesn't bug me all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I try to think of it as outdated software anxiety. Sometimes it's not a personal flaw. It's or weakness. It's just a sign that it's not. It needs to be updated. I need a little refresh. Little, every other year it feels like there's a new iPhone or something. So maybe my anxiety just needs a little software update so that it doesn't think that something's going wrong, and it could be my body's way of warning me that I need a break, or protecting my boundaries in some way. But I don't have to keep replaying the conversations or over preparing trying to avoid any mistakes possible, because life happens. Whether we want it to or not, it still happens. And having that Sunday night dread because you got to go to work Monday is not a good feeling. And
Yeah.
that's okay. Like there are other people who feel this way, but anxiety isn't a failure of logic. Again, it's just a way of letting you know you're still human. That
Yeah.
sometimes people do have worries. There are things that we are concerned about. Some are merited more than others, but it's just not letting it control your life. Like it doesn't have to take over the
I
driver's seat.
Every once in a while, my micromanager will wake me up in the middle of the night to remember what I did wrong or I forgot the day before. Hmm.
And I think the other thing is you don't need to necessarily get rid of all anxiety in order for you to be okay. It's okay for it to be there. Again, you don't have to keep calm. Anytime somebody's like, calm down, it's like the total opposite is about to happen when you're like, calm down. This is about to make me go even crazier here. So, you know, we don't have, there's no winning and losing necessarily for it. Just understand that it makes you feel uncomfortable, but it's not dangerous. It's not going to kill you, the anxiety. We just need to make sure that when our body starts overreacting, that breathe. It's okay to just breathe.
What do you do? Like, what do you do to help with your anxiety when it crawls into your windows and doors and breaks in,
I would
messes up
love
your.
to say that I could just ask it to leave, go away. You're not wanted here. It doesn't work like that. But for me, writing it down, like getting it out of my head, usually works most of the time. Like writing it down in some form or format. So I tend to write poetry. Like I naturally, if something's going on with me, it naturally somehow comes out in the form of some kind of lyric. And so that is what helps me know that something's going on because it's now helping me make sense of whatever it is. So yes, I usually get it out. If it's more of a me having a running checklist, then I again writing it down so that it's not in my head because I'm afraid I'm going to miss something. I think that's what part of that is that if I don't have it, if I don't keep ruminating about it, it's going to be missed. But if I just put it down, then I can always refer back to the list and it gives me a little more freedom to let it go in my head.
I do two things. I like
Okay.
music. So
Okay.
I listen to a lot of music and I like it loud. So that kind of drowns
Exactly.
out my
No.
micromanager. And then sometimes I do, it's really silly. I don't do a lot of meditation, but I'll just sit for a minute and I'll picture myself at the beach because that's my vacation
That's
spot.
your happy
And
state.
I hear the ocean, I smell the ocean, I see the ocean, I feel the sun on my skin. I do that for like 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay. That's not even a long time. You're like, and it works like 30 seconds is pretty. You could do that right now. You're like, "Hmm."
yeah, and
This awkward 30 seconds just sitting here. Like, no, your computer's not frozen. I'm still
yeah, but
here.
that's exactly what I do. I practice that a lot though. So it does help. Like when my micromanager is yelling really loud, that's what I do to kind of make him be quiet or her be quiet.
I like the music. You're like, I'm gonna drown it out. You can't even hear you. So loud.
I
Can't even
know
hear thoughts anymore.
people talk about like yoga and long meditation. I can't do that because it's like the second I calm my brain down, my micromanager is like gets out the bullhorn and starts yelling everything that I need to
Okay,
do.
gotcha. It sounds like you can't hear me. I want to help you out. Yeah, no. I used to do yoga years ago, but I didn't necessarily do it because of anxiety per se. I never really thought about the anxiety benefits of that, but I can see that that would have could have served that purpose. But yeah, I don't know. I did enjoy it. I couldn't do some of the more complicated moves because I don't have that kind of balance, but I did enjoy some of the more relaxing poses where you just kind of lay there and not really
Close your eyes for a
and
minute.
being like, so now I'm sleeping. So I definitely was relaxed, I guess, in that sense. But I don't know. I did enjoy it, but I may have to try to see if I can do your 30 seconds because that's good, especially if it's effective. Because you can do that in between meetings or before you have to make a call you don't want to make or whatever the anxiety is that's out there. Like I think that's a really good technique. And I know breathing, people always say, like, you basically, if you exhale longer than you inhale, you're letting out all that, junk out of you. And it really does help you calm down naturally. So,
Yeah. Sometimes I like to, when I'm laying down and I really need some deep breathing, use my phone, right? Because we all have our phone, and I put it on my stomach and I see how far I can push it up, which unfortunately is too far up. And then you got to let it sink into your stomach. And
mm,
I see how far I can let it sink in, not as far as I would like.
mm,
And then you
okay.
hold it each way. It does really kind of help, because then I'm not focused on my micromanager. I am really focused in on seeing how far up I
We're
push the
here to get
phone
you.
and how far I sink it in, and then the deep breathing helps.
Yeah. So now your mind is on something else. It's really hard to be so locked in on that
Yeah,
anxiety if you're thinking about something else. I like
as
that.
you can tell, my brain needs other distractions other than my manager
I
yelling
either need
in
to
the
be at the
phone.
beach, I need this music blasting, or I need to be
Yeah.
meditating. Something needs to
Sometimes
happen.
on YouTube they do have beach themes, and so I will put that on in the background when I'm working.
Okay, you're like, yes, I'm
Yeah.
here running along the beach.
Yes.
I like it.
People do have to find their happy spot, though. I feel like everyone has a happy spot.
Yes. If not, make up one. If you feel like you haven't experienced your happy spot, imagine what that could potentially be. Because maybe everybody is not the ocean. Maybe it is the mountains, or maybe it's the snow, or maybe it's sitting in your room alone, unbothered with people knocking on the door and trying to come in bed with you. You're like, it could be any little thing. Like just being able to take a nap without somebody else being there. There's just simple things that can bring you joy in life, and find whatever yours is. And when you're having those moments, those days when either that coworker or boss or uninvited house guest tries to creep in there, then just do those techniques. Go to your happy place,
Yeah.
find out what brings you joy, and kind of stay in that moment for as long as you possibly can.
Yeah. I like to tell my manager, like in my brain, I don't need you today. I'm okay for right now. Like, I got this.
Mm-hmm.
I do that a lot.
I want to put a sign on the door like, the family is away on vacation right now. If you have any packages, please leave them at the door. Like, but I don't know that, I would announce that necessarily, but I like it. I'm like, maybe I have a way of letting them know no one's home. Turn off all the lights, pretend to be sitting in here in the dark.
Yeah, nobody is creeping in your house then if the lights are out. And
Yeah, exactly. Pretend you're not home. Back in the day, I remember when answering machines first came out, and
oh,
when people would call, people were like, be quiet, be quiet. Nobody can hear you on this side. But at that, for some reason, it was like everybody had to be quiet while the
uh-huh.
person's leaving a message. Like, what are we doing? This is how I'm gonna be with my anxiety. Like, shh, just
Mhm.
knocking on the door, not letting
Yeah.
me in.
Well, we should, as we wrap up, I'm going to put this up there just because I forgot to do it at the beginning. But remember, this is for advice only, not therapeutic.
It's
If you
entertainment purposes here.
entertainment purposes, if you do need to seek help, definitely
Yeah.
reach out.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with it alone. There are many resources out there to be able to assist you outside of Grit, Guts, and Gab, where we talk about resilience, determination, perseverance. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow us, all of those things.
Yep, YouTube and Spotify.
Yes, and tell your uninvited house guests and your
Micromanager.
to kick rocks.
Yeah,
Kick
I think we should end on that. Kick rock.
rocks, people.
All right.
All
Well,
right,
thank you
until
guys.
next time.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.